Hi everyone, I'm back. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I am going to guide you through, as of almost 2026, the world landscape of geopolitics and how religion sort of plays a role in geopolitical decisions, but also the goals and ultimate ideals of each nation at play. Let's get right into it. So, first off, United States. World Police Officer Extraordinaire. Holds most of the world's money, if not all of the world's legitimate money. And holds the world reserve currency. Now, they have assets in Saudi Arabia. They have interests with the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and I guess to a lesser extent Kuwait, but I'm not gonna, don't quote me on that. And they're also allies with Jordan, and what looks like, as of recent, Syria. Mr. Donald Trump has formed good relations with Syria's interim president, al-Shura. My estimate is that Donald Trump wants to use this coalition, I guess, to fight and defeat the Shia Muslim regime in Iran. Because these guys, all throughout here, are Sunni Muslims. They see the Shia regime as competition. Plus, there are proxies from Iran's Shia ideology in Yemen and the Palestinian territories. So, what then? Well, we don't know to the extent that ISIS is still influencing in North Africa, but let's go back to the Sunni coalition and see that the Sunni Muslims have a presence in Nigeria, Niger, Mali, Mauritania, Chad, Sudan, as well as Somalia, but they're pretty leaderless at the moment, and anything Somalia does is going to simply be for the sake of one-upping each other and continuing their civil war. Burkina Faso is also a part of this, but they are much more authoritarian, not in the goal to create the caliphate, because ISIS, which was generally in this region, was in a close proximity to Turkey. Turkish propaganda teaches us that they still idealize the old caliphate. Now, with ISIS's goal being that they wanted to reestablish a caliphate in the Levant, which is this whole area, Turkey naturally expressed their sympathies towards their jihadist brethren. Now, Turkey is a NATO ally, meaning they are friends, I guess they are on good terms with the United States. But they are also Sunni Muslims, and therefore against the Shia regime. There is another coalition, being Russia. In their war against Ukraine, Russia has employed probably tens of thousands of jihadist mercenaries from within their borders and within their territories. The Russian government, which is majorly comprised of Orthodox Christian oligarchs, though there are many Muslim oligarchs as well, they have to deal with the fact that they have Muslims fighting in the Russian army and trying to seize their goals in Ukraine. So that includes Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. Those guys are former Soviet allies, or I should say former Soviet satellites. So when Russia needs them, they're going to come. But though they have developed their own sort of foreign policy for about 35 years now, they are still under the Russian thumb, like it or hate it. And this also absolutely includes Azerbaijan. Now, why is this complicated? Well, Armenia, right here. Turks don't really like Armenians, to say the least. The genocide of 1915 to the 1920s is still extremely ingrained with the Armenian way of thinking to this day. They don't trust Turks, Muslims, and especially not Azerbaijanis. The Armenian exclave within Azerbaijan, which doesn't show up on international border maps, because with a part of Azerbaijan as an exclave separated by Armenia, ethnic Azerbaijanis and Turks surround Armenia. Now, Armenia has no hope of gaining help from their neighbor Georgia, because, for simply political reasons, Georgia has border disputes with Armenia, so their territorial integrity outweighs their shared faith. Ideally, they should be looking after each other, including the ethnic Armenians trapped in Azerbaijan, and as well as Turkey and other places, if they still exist. Now, what does this all mean? That is a good question, because, well, to put it bluntly, Iran has factions in Afghanistan, some likely allied with the Taliban, but it's not to say that Afghanistan is an official ally to the Ayatollah regime. Afghanistan is basically no man's land. They administer their own form of Sharia law that is much different than how the Ayatollahs do it. The Taliban have very, very literalist views of Sharia law, or at least the administration of Sharia law. That makes them an outlier, politically, internationally isolated, especially isolated from the rest of the Muslim world. Oman, very neutral and profiting pretty well, as I understand it. Iraq, no man's land. And I'd also like to point out that Russia employs so many Muslim soldiers means that they have to turn a blind eye to Armenia. And Georgia just doesn't care. So, yeah, that's basically the lay of the land. And I suppose you could say that these alliances are set up first with money, second with borders, thirdly with religious affinity. But it has to be aligned religious affinity doctrinally, and with this shared intention of rewriting the map. The Caliphate fundamentally always has and always will rewrite the map. If a caliphate doesn't already exist, its goal is going to change the map. Now, I forgot to mention, of course, Israel has a goal of setting up relations with Saudi Arabia. It's on good terms with Jordan, and they are not trusting Syria right now. But this also means that once Israel has fixed their Palestinian question, they are going to reaffirm their strong ties with the United States. And that will also mean Turkey will be forced to recognize Israel's success, but they won't want to, because there will come a point when Turkey is going to want to show their true Mohammedan colors and join up with Syria politically. And they might both set up another puppet government in Iraq, and by extension, Egypt is going to join in their quest for the caliphate. As for Lebanon, I think Israel is going to put a vice grip on Lebanese territory. So that leaves us still with the United States asserting their interests in the region, but Turkey is closer to them. Turkey is getting reasonably wealthy, and Turkey is still a NATO member. So whoever attacks Turkey is going to bear the brunt of NATO, and Israel is not a NATO state. So there is that, but Israel has other means of leveraging support from the United States. That's about all I can really say for today. And if you want to talk about the India, Pakistan, Bangladesh problem, in another video we will do that. But for now, I'm Jack Existential. Comment and subscribe.